The elevated push-up can be a great introductory exercise for an upper body push. It's against the ground to cause rotator cuff activation. It can be also integrating the core and the whole body. However, many people think they can do push-ups properly, but don't have the proper setup. When you're picking an elevated surface, I recommend a bench or a chair, something that's sturdy. What you're going to be doing is having your hands right underneath your shoulder. That will decrease the stress on the shoulder, and the feet about shoulder width apart. Then next, what you're going to do is have your chin tucked and your body in a nice straight line. After that, you're going to, if you see my position right now, my shoulders are rounded forward a little. As they're rounded forward like this, it's closing on space for the rotator cuff tendons. What we want to cue all our athletes and anyone who's doing an elevated push-up to do is to lock that shoulder back, opening up that shoulder. There's a big difference between this position, where I already feel stress here in the top of the shoulder, not only closing off areas in the front and stretching areas in the back. We want to lock the shoulder back in place, activating our lats to keep enough room for our rotator cuff muscles and keep them healthy. So once again, I'm in this position. What I often see a lot of people do, rounded shoulders, rotator cuff stress, versus locking the shoulder blades back, activating my whole lats and these muscles in my back before we get going. Okay, so that's the setup. Making sure we're in that nice straight line, locking the shoulder blades back. If an athlete can't do that, I often don't progress them to even moving their upper body. Okay, so if they can't do that, you can have them against a wall, actively trying to almost pull their arms down to get the lats active. Okay, after that, we're going to be just bringing our body down. I recommend the elbows about 30 to 45 degrees from the body. If you put them in different positions, you'll stress different areas. Like this will stress the triceps more, over here will stress the pecs more, but as you see me going like this once again puts more stress on the shoulder. So that's why I go with the 30 to 45 degrees elbow area angle, at least from the start. Okay? So once again, we're here, chin straight line, activating my lats and my muscles to stabilize my shoulder, lowering myself nice and controlled, and then return. Okay? If you're doing this properly, you shouldn't just feel it in the primary movers, the biceps and the pecs, but also the lats. Okay? If we're doing this right, we're getting a lot of muscles involved, not overstressing our shoulder if we're doing it properly and with right volume. This is the elevated push-up. The push-up is a great exercise not only to strengthen the chest, but also to strengthen the shoulder blades. Unfortunately, many people perform it wrong by rounding their shoulders in, really overstressing the front of their shoulders. So first, make sure your athletes can activate their lats or the back of their shoulders and progress from the wall push-up all the way down. To see if an athlete can strengthen or activate their lats, have them put one arm up, then attempt to pull their arm down and tighten their lat muscle. That muscle should be firm during this whole push-up exercise. Next, what an athlete will do is get into the push-up position, hand underneath the shoulders, allowing their elbow to come at a 45-degree angle, not 90 degrees or 0 degrees. You can do those other variations to stress certain body parts and muscles, but for the standard push-up, I suggest a 45-degree angle. So the hands are just going to be right underneath the shoulders. The lats are going to be squeezed back and active, and the athlete will just lower themselves down nice and controlled to the ground, and then return up, keeping their lats active the whole time. Make sure their hips aren't dipping too low or their shoulders rounding. Once again, lats active, abs tight so body's in a straight line, lowering down as low as they can to the ground, then returning. Single arm elevated push-up is a great exercise to help the athlete learn how to not rotate their body, keeping their core active, building anti-rotational strength while building their upper body strength. If you have a rack or rig here, you can pick the perfect height and challenge them and progress them lower and lower. If you're doing this at home, you can use the side of a couch or any elevated stable surface. This is the single arm push-up.
She's a bit of a fixer-upper. That's a minor.